Hey folks, hope everybody is doing well, doing swimmingly. I don't know, I saw that word today and I was like, swimmingly. We don't say that enough. Anyway, sorry. All right, sorry, I'm a little goofy today. I'm tired without the R, tired. All right, so I'm making a scar tissue healing salve. Yes, I'm looking at my tablet so I know what I'm making. I'm actually making this for a client. And I decided to tape it so that you can do it also, because truth be told, I'm making 2 of these anyway because I need one for me. Yeah, scar tissue is something else, baby. Like if you've had any kind of surgery, if you've had, you know, a bad fall, you've got any kind of accident where it's like had physical harm, or not physical harm, but yeah, physical injury to the body, there's a chance there's scar tissue in that area. And I personally think it's dangerous to have, you know, a lot of scar tissue in the body because I think it traps energy and communication. Like those nerves that are communicating back and forth, and then you cut through them, what happens to that energy? Where does it go? I feel like it stagnates and it causes issues, you know? So I'm not gonna get into all that because we'll be here all day, all night. But what I wanted to say was, rubbing those areas with like vitamin E oil in particular, because it's really good for collagen production. And then there's all these herbs that I'm going to go through that you can also add in with the vitamin E oil to really help rebuild those nerves properly so communication and energy can get to where it's going. Because think about it, as a C-section survivor twice, yes, that scar tissue periodically out of nowhere, it'll just like hurt, you know? And it's like, why is it hurting? You know, why is it like flat one day and then like 2 months later, it could rise up for like a day or two? What is happening in those areas? So yeah, I think scar tissue can have like greater consequences to our health and to our mental health, because C-sections are more likely, or women that have had C-sections are more likely to have dealt with postpartum depression. And I think it's because of that scar tissue. I mean, I think there's other reasons too. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. You're getting my drift. We need to work on those areas, love on those areas of our body in particular. Massage it every night. Talk to it. Hey, baby, I'm here for you. Heal. Talk to it, you know, because I don't think those parts of the body ever truly heal. You know, it's like trauma trapped in the body. So I'm going to talk about a few herbs that you can easily gather and make into a nice moisturizing and healing salve. Here we go. So we're working with several different ingredients. I'm showing right now the dried herbs that we're going to be using. We're using chamomile flower, which is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. We're using calendula, love calendula. Calendula expedites the skin tissue healing, so we definitely want that, helps reknit that skin. We're using some gotu kola to help get the blood to the affected areas. You know, where the blood goes is where the healing happens. So, you know, that's why we want to make sure we have some type of circulatory herb in the blend. And then plantain leaf softens the skin. It also has some antibacterial properties. And in the middle is lavender. Not only does it smell delicious, but it relieves pain and is also antifungal, because sometimes you can have fungus related to also scar tissue areas. For the fatty ingredients, we are using mango butter, super moisturizing and nourishing, high in vitamin C and antioxidants. We're using vitamin E oil. That, as I mentioned, it boosts your collagen production. This golden beauty here is jojoba oil, my favorite. I put it in all my oil blends because it's moisturizing and it kind of acts like a liquid band-aid, you know? I mean, it just really kind of adds a really nice layer on the skin, and your body also thinks it's sebum because I think it closely resembles sebum, which is our natural skin oil that the body produces itself. So jojoba oil, baby. All right, and then the last one is, or not the last, but the next one is beeswax. We're putting some beeswax in to harden the salve, so to give it some of the firmness. And last but not least, I'm putting in cedar wood and frankincense Frankincense, also boswellia, helps to improve skin tone and kill bacteria. And the cedar is also an anti-inflammatory and pain reliever. So that's why we're adding some drops of the essential oils in there. And all you really need after this is a double boiler, which I will give you a view of what that's going to look like when I actually put everything in. I'm going to powder down these herbs so that I can get more. It's basically volume to the wet stuff. I want to make sure we get as much surface area covered. So that's why we're going to blend this down into a powder and then go from there. Just blending down the herbs. I use my blender. I use my blender and that little pummel just to get it down to a powder. But you can, you know, if you have a, you know, a food processor or whatever you got to blend this thing down, go ahead and try it. All right, I'm going to place the butters here in the pot to get this solution going. There we go. And now I'm going to put the vitamin E oil in later. Right now I'm just adding in first the mango butter and the jojoba oil. And we're going to also sprinkle in our beeswax. We'll start there, and then once that melts down, we'll add in the dried ingredients. So you can see that the oil has melted down, and so now I'm going to add in our dried herbs that we blended. Yeah, get that all in there. So it's blended down so it takes up less space, so the oil will cover it. I'm going to blend this up real quick. All right, and we are going to let this stay on a pretty, it's like a fast simmer, I would say, maybe a low boil. For me, I'm going to do this for 45 minutes, but you can do longer if you want to. Some you can do up to an hour, 2 hours if you like, depending on how potent you want it. I'm just going for 45 minutes. That is sufficient and efficient. So we will start there. It's been about 45 minutes. Actually, I think it's been closer to 60 minutes. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to give it a whirl with the spoon. Yep, there's still water. Sometimes you got to check to make sure there's water at the bottom, like, you know, just to make sure. Anyway, turn your heat off, and then we're going to strain it. I already got the strainer set up. Now, the straining process is interesting. I mean, there will be like sediment, you know, or like loose herb that sometimes gets into the oil. And it's kind of up to you on if you want to, you know, strain it multiple times. See, what kind of butter does that look like? Anyway, okay, but you may need to strain it multiple times. And so you can strain it through an even finer strainer again, or you can use a cheesecloth, you know, muslin. You can use a lot of different things to kind of to get like it completely clear of any sediment. I'm not doing all that for today. Okay, I lied. I did end up straining it through a cloth. I couldn't help it. It was too much sediment. So this is a muslin cloth that I'm straining through. Super cool, huh? See how it's a much clearer result when you do it this way. Gets all the sediment out. So now that we have the strained oil, now we're going to add the vitamin E oil. Remember I said I was going to add that last or at the end. This is about an 1/8 cup that I'm adding. Normally you wouldn't need this much, but since vitamin E is one of the stars of the show here, we're going to add a little bit more. This is the cedarwood essential oils. Just going to add probably about like 6 drops. That might have been 8. Aww, a little extra. Some frankincense. We'll do this. Ooh, okay, that was a quick 6. And this is just an added. I'm just going to do some lavender just because I love the way it smells. Can't have enough soothingness up in here. If I can get some drops out. I'm about to get another one. It is. Oh, I think this one's empty. Oh, okay. Imagine I'm putting in one. Oh, there goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang, made me work for that one. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna mix this and then I'm gonna pour it in the containers and let it set. Now we're gonna pour this baby into the container. You don't have to use an amber container. I am, just because you know, it protects it from the sun. But as long as you're not keeping this, you know, salve like directly in the sunlight, you could use a clear bottle also. Sorry to put this on your face. A clear bottle. That's what I'm gonna put my little reserve in for myself. Anyway, we're gonna let this set. It might need to set, like, might need 30 to 45 minutes to get like fully hard. Could you put it in the refrigerator? You could to speed it up, but I just kind of like to let it set on its own room temperature. So right before the salve completely sets, I tend to drop a few rose petals, just, you know, on top of the blends. I also tend to put dried rose petals in most of my teas, even if it doesn't necessarily require it. So yes, roses have a lot of vitamin C, which obviously helps with healing and overall general immune health and support and prevention. But roses energetically are known to help with heartbreak. And most of the clients that I see, you know, again, they come in for something physical, but it's usually tied to some type of heartbreak or disappointment. And it doesn't always mean with romantic partners. I mean, you can have, a lot of people can break your heart, you know? And so I always like to add roses. It's just as a reminder that, you know, that's really the area that we need to heal most of all. And then when we can address that, a lot of those physical ailments will start to dissipate. So everything's done. It's set for like, it took me like about 45 minutes to an hour for the set because it's a bigger bottle. But this is what she looks like. Isn't she pretty? It smells like roses and lavender. Yeah, so for this, you just need to apply it twice a day, honestly, like in the morning, at night. I mean, even if you do once a day, it's fine, but twice a day is even better. And, you know, just rub it in a circular motion on the areas that are most affected, you know, with scar tissue. Them scars, baby. I don't care if they was from when you was 6 and riding your bike and you fell off and nobody caught you. You know what I'm saying? That scar. You need to work on that scar. Here's my little baby bottle that I'm taking home with me. Anyway, I hope y'all got something out of this and see how easy it is to make a salve. Take care, y'all.